How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And before we get started, I want to let you guys know about the private group. Whether you want to be a better investor or a better trader, then this group is for you. If you are interested, you can find the link down inside the description. We'll be happy to have you a part of the family. So today we're going to be talking about SNDL Sundial growers. Many are telling me, Dre, is SNDL going to be going to $1 this week coming? I'm like, all right, you know what? We're going to talk about it a little bit. So first, let's go over the agenda. We're going to be covering the technical analysis. We want to take a look at the overall price action. We want to know support, and we also want to know resistance. This is very key to know because you want to make sure you can formulate the right strategy. And then secondly, we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know, have institutions been loading up? Do they want to get in on some of this action? Well, we're about to find out. And then we're actually going to be doing a breakdown as far as for shareholders. We want to know what the percentage of ownership really does look like, because it does have an impact in regards to the volatility that we see in this stock. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's jump into it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for SNDL Sundial growers. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at 89 cents, being down 0.20%. On the low, it tested 88 cents, and then on the high, testing 90 cents. When we take a look at the volume that we had on Friday, we had 93.93 million shares that were traded, and on average over the past 10 trading days, it's around 102.59 million. So lower than usual, but at the same time, we did have a little bit of a pullback, but it was nothing too dramatic whatsoever. So when we see how it's lining up with our indicators here, we could see from the RSI down below, it's around 45.62. So yes, this is in the oversold territory, but it's not deep in there, fairly still close to the middle. And when we take a look at our 200-day, of course, we have strength above it. When we take a look at our 100-day, we are below it, and we're also below the 21-day EMA. So for SNDL to begin to start looking really bullish again, I'd want to see it gain some momentum above the 21-day EMA here at 94 cents. One thing we are aware of, though, when it did pull back, it ended up getting to around 83 cents. So that was very interesting to see that we had some support there. We have proven to have this as an area of support inside the past, but does this mean that, hey, are we going to be making that move essentially going to $1? We already know that $1 level is that psychological level. I know many of you also have an exit strategy also to get out at this level as well. But things can get very interesting if there's a lot of momentum or we end up getting a catalyst inside of the cannabis sector. So if we can get to this $1 and there's more buying going on, then I'll look forward to seeing us reach the 100-day here at $1.04, and that's when things can get very interesting for SNDL. But right now, at the current moment, what it looks like in regards to its support, it is sitting right around this 88 cents level and has been a proven area. It did close at 89, so I can see a dip happening on Monday. So if you're looking about getting into a position, just make sure you have a strategy in place. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SNDL. So we can see here on the inflow, we had 26, and on the outflow, we had 24. So we had 0 on the large for both. We had 17 on the medium for inflow, and we also had 8 on the small. And on the medium side for the outflows, we had 16, and on the small, we had 8. So yes, inflows ended up being outflows. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, we see 0 down the board. So if institutions are getting involved, they are not placing large orders. So that is something I want you to keep in mind here. So does this mean that SNDL cannot be bullish whatsoever for the week that is coming? No, but do understand we want to keep an eye on this, and I will continue to keep you guys updated, especially leading up to the 16th. Now let's take a look at the shareholder ownership. So as we take a look, you could see here as far as for institutions, they own 4.91%. Insiders own 0.66%, but retail owns 94.43%. This is the reason why SNDL is volatile, because it's mainly owned by retail investors. So when we get certain news, and also there's a lot of traders that are inside of this play, we end up seeing strong moves to the downside, and we also see strong moves to the upside. When we take a look at the industry and how it performed as a whole on the Friday, pharmaceuticals was up 0.37%, and as well as pharmaceuticals and medical research, it was up 0.65%. So it wasn't big that much, but at the same time, do know we mentioned this term and I'm going to continue to say it, rising tides float all boats. So if we end up getting a catalyst that comes through the sector, then SNDL can definitely benefit from this, and we've seen this in the past as well. So what does all of this mean when we combine this all together? There's going to be a lot of volatility, but of course, if you know about SNDL and if you've been playing this for quite some time, it's something that you got to get used to. But you know what? We'll talk more. Let's jump into the final thoughts. So for my final thoughts for SNDL Sundial growers, it's definitely going to be an interesting week leading up to July the 16th. And also to bring to your attention, when you take a look at the option table for July 16th for SNDL, I feel the market makers do not want SNDL closing over $1 because that will put all of these calls in the money, especially that $1 as well if it even gets past $1.50, like I said. So I could definitely see there's going to be a lot of manipulation that goes on wanting to keep SNDL suppressed. So that is something I want you to understand. But if you feel like it can go the other way, then just make sure you have a strategy and you pay attention to the technicals, because I feel that will definitely help you out, especially if we end up getting a lot more volume and there's a lot of buying pressure. Another thing, when I was on Fintel and I took a look at the short interest information, it was around like 37% for the short volume ratio. This is fairly high and of course comes with short squeeze potential. So this is one of the things, hey, if this is what you want to chase, then of course you want to keep it on your watch list, keep it on your radar. Also, many of you know, and many of us on this channel got into SNDL when it was in the 70-cent range. So if you have the opportunity to take some profits when it hits $1, I highly suggest you do that. You can never go broke when it comes to taking profits. And another thing before I end this video out, when we were taking a look at the order flow and as well as the shareholder ownership, these are things we need to keep in mind. There's going to be many profit takers that are going to be inside of this play. So one thing I want to remind you of is don't be greedy. Due to the fact we have a lot of retail investors, they're going to be watching it just as much as you are. And as far as institutions are concerned, not a lot of them are actually vested in this, but of course this can change, especially as the week progresses, because you know they're in it, they want to make some money. So just taking everything that we looked at, hey, if SNDL goes to $1, make sure you protect your profits, and if it doesn't, then hey, continue to be patient, especially if you're in this play, because I do believe it's going to be going back above that $1 level at least within a year. And again, this is just me being very conservative here. It could easily do this before the end of this month or sometime in August, but that's just something to give you a heads up on. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.